ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
I'm just scared. I'm really afraid of COVID.
After a year of worry, a new tier of San Diego's most vulnerable residents are getting hopeful news. Today, the state health director said that some people with disabilities and health issues will be in the next group to get vaccines. Good evening and thank you for joining us on this busy Friday night. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti shows us how this news is bringing relief for many in San Diego.
Right now, the focus is still on healthcare workers and people older than 65. But now the state is saying that in just about a month, millions more Californians could be eligible.
She has the biggest personality you've ever met.
Edward Hershey says his 25-year-old daughter Julia lights up any room.
But it's always been her goal to live on her own.
She has Williams syndrome, similar to Down syndrome, which puts her at a higher risk of catching coronavirus.
They're more at risk because a lot of them, especially like my daughter, have issues with social distancing, right? She just wants to run up and give you a hug.
So the news that California leaders have said she'll be one of the next eligible for the vaccine is a relief. Starting March 15th, the state says people with cancer, kidney disease, Down syndrome, organ transplants, heart disease, pregnant women, and more will be able to get the vaccine.
I think it's going to give a lot of transplant patients, whether you're kidney, liver, lung, heart, a lot of peace of mind.
Debbie Kinney is an organ recipient.
I'll do whatever it takes to protect my heart.
She's older than 65, so she's already received her first dose, but she says she and others like her have spent the last year afraid.
We don't have an immune system, and so we don't have any type of protection to protect us from colds, flus.
For organ recipients, this news is another shot at life after they've already been blessed with a second chance. And for people like Julia with disabilities, it's about being acknowledged.
This is a lifeline, right? It means that their needs are being heard.
Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
State health leaders say this next phase will begin March 15th, but San Diego County leaders have not said if that timeline will be followed here. It may depend on vaccine availability at the time. And new at 11 o'clock, there may be a special election to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. The backers of the effort to recall the governor announced tonight they have collected just over 1.5 million signatures. That's enough to get a special election on the ballot. Those signatures still need to be verified by the Secretary of State's office. The group says it will continue collecting signatures up until its mid-March deadline. Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer has already said he would enter the race for governor if a proposal goes in front of voters.
A delayed shipment. Kim, can you take this?
A delayed shipment of vaccines is forcing the Petco Park vaccination superstation to close for 3 days. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains what the delay means for thousands of people who were supposed to get vaccinated in the coming days.
Like Los Angeles County, a shortage of COVID-19 vaccines in San Diego County has slowed down vaccinations and even canceled some appointments.
We inherit all of the problems that happen above us.
On Friday, the county was set to receive a shipment of the Moderna vaccine, which didn't happen. The shipment is now scheduled to arrive on Tuesday, but County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says he'll believe it when he sees it.
They've said definitively it'll be here Tuesday, but they also said definitively it would also already be here.
Right now, second dose appointments are a top priority, but the UCSD Health Petco Park vaccination superstation, which has only given the Moderna vaccine, will be the most impacted site.
Unfortunately, we only have enough vaccine to run through tomorrow at that site.
Dr. Marlene Millen with UCSD Health says appointments for Friday and Saturday will remain as is, but no vaccines will be offered on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Those appointments will automatically be rescheduled.
They'll receive an email that has the information on when they were rescheduled to. Sunday is moved to the 22nd, Monday was moved to the 23rd, and Tuesday we split. So if you were before noon, you were moved to the 24th, and if you're after noon, you moved to the 25th. Again, this will be in the email, so no one need to run and jot it down.
If those dates don't work, people can choose a different time through MyChart or find another location anywhere in the county offering the Moderna vaccine. The county says both the East County and South Bay superstations still have enough vaccines to get through Monday. The county's smaller pods and the North County Superstation in San Marcos have enough vaccines to complete second dose appointments and a limited supply of first dose appointments. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And for people worried about delaying their second dose, the CDC says it can be administered up to 42 days after the first dose and still be effective.
Another vaccination superstation opened today, this one at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. It's a drive-through located inside the fairgrounds' large exhibit building. The site is open from 8 to noon, Saturday and Sunday, always by appointment only. The county says it's not expected to be impacted by the supply shortage. And a new vaccination clinic will open Sunday at the Linda Rhodes Recreation Center in Vista. It will be open from 9:30 to 3:30 Sundays and Mondays. The county says it will provide up to 500 doses a day.
Some good news with our daily numbers. New cases in the county dropped back below 1,000 today, and our test positivity rate dropped back down to 4%. However, another 24 San Diegans lost their lives to COVID, bringing that total to just under 3,000.
Thousands of asylum seekers waiting in Mexico will be let into the U.S. for their immigration proceedings as soon as next week. This comes as Biden administration officials announced its new admission program today. ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano explains what's being done now south of the border to prepare for the transition.
For thousands of migrants seeking asylum, news from the Biden administration Friday gave them hope.
She was thanking God and just happy that this day has finally come for her.
Immigration attorney Maria Chavez represents a Nicaraguan woman who is claiming political asylum. Under the Trump administration's Migrant Protection Protocols, or MPP, she was ordered to stay in Mexico for the duration of her U.S. immigration court proceedings. MPP was originally put into place to address claims that migrants failed to appear at their hearings. But Friday, Biden administration officials announced that starting February 19th, those with active MPP cases will be processed at 3 port of entries and released into the United States.
They have to start somewhere, and they're starting with the MPP program, and for that we're grateful.
Dulce Garcia with the Border Angels says there are about 25,000 people who qualify for this new program. She says around 100 of them are staying at one of 14 Border Angel supported shelters in Tijuana.
There will be an NGO in Tijuana that will be screening folks to see whether they have an active case that are part of the MPP program.
But Garcia says not everyone qualifies for this program. Many who have stayed at temporary shelters for 2 years have died taking dangerous chances.
Some have been so desperate that they've tried to cross through the desert.
Customs and Border Patrol sent ABC 10 News a statement that reads in part, CBP has seen a steady increase in border encounters since April 2020, which, aggravated by COVID-19 restrictions and social distancing guidelines, have caused some facilities to reach maximum safe holding capacity. And that is why Garcia hopes in the next phase, more asylum seekers will be able to plead their case in the U.S.
There's so many people with such tragic stories, and we have contributed to their trauma by forcing them to stay in these shelters in Tijuana.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
In the meantime, Garcia says humanitarian groups on both sides are arranging transportation and preparing people to reunite with their families or sponsors in the U.S.
Former President Donald Trump's legal team argued today that the entire impeachment trial is, quote, an act of political vengeance. They went as far to accuse House impeachment managers of doctoring evidence and claimed that Trump's speech before the deadly insurrection was ordinary political rhetoric.
No thinking person could seriously believe that the president's January 6th speech on the ellipse was in any way an incitement to violence or insurrection.
The Trump team only used 2.5 hours of the allotted 16 to make their case. Senators will reconvene at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Both sides will make their closing arguments before senators vote on whether Trump is guilty or not guilty of inciting an insurrection. And we will continue to have live coverage of the impeachment trial this weekend on our streaming apps. You can watch by downloading our free 10 News app on your phone or your streaming device.
The search for a missing Chula Vista mother is moving 2.5 hours away from San Diego. Maya Miliete has been missing for 5 weeks now. Her family is heading to Glamis this weekend to search for her. They're planning on passing out flyers on Friday and then organizing search parties Saturday and Sunday. The family knows it's a long shot, but they're leaving no stone unturned.
It's one of those places that she loved being out, being out and about, riding her dirt bike, riding the quads, being on the razors.
Chula Vista police say they have no new updates on the case, but their investigation is still active and ongoing.